In this video, I'll be showing you step by step how to set up a YouTube ad campaign. My name is Kyle Sullerud. I'm the CEO of AdLeg, a marketing agency that specializes in YouTube ads. And we've spent over $25 million on YouTube ads, so you don't have to. Unless, of course, you're crushing it and you want to. But the point of this video is to get you started with YouTube ads so you can get a campaign up and running. Now, in this video, I will not be covering how to actually script an ad or record a video or anything like that. This assumes that you already have a Google Ads account to run your ads out of, and that you already have some video ads, and of course that you already have some place to send those ads. If you need help with that stuff, with creating your ads, I do have other videos on this channel to help with that, so go check those out. But in this video, I'm just going to be walking you through inside of Google Ads how to actually create a new campaign. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to click the don't click the new campaign button. That's not the first thing you want to do. The first thing, most importantly, is to make sure you are tracking conversions. A conversion is a lead or a sale or some action that you want people to take on your website. And it's very important that you're tracking this because you need to be able to tell Google what you want to get out of the campaign. If you don't tell them this, then Google's ad algorithm is going to have a very difficult time of giving you what you want. If you do tell them, then the algorithm is going to do a great job in helping you get more conversions. So to set up your conversion tracking, go to Tools and Settings and Conversions. And then what you are going to do is click on Website Conversions. So new conversion action, website conversions. And then it's going to want you to enter your domain. So I will enter mine and click scan. So it is finding my website here at www.adleg.com/home. I can go ahead and apply that. This first part doesn't really matter. If they find the web page, if they don't find the web page, whatever, doesn't really matter because what you're going to be doing is adding a conversion action manually. So click here, and I'm going to select a category. So this particular funnel that I'm using in this example is an opt-in to a video sales letter, and then from the video sales letter, people book a sales call. So I want to track when people opt in. That's going to be my first conversion. And then I also want to track when people book a call. So I'm going to use sign up, and then we can just give this the same name, sign up. We do not need to use a value for that. We want to only count one conversion. This means if someone opts in multiple times, it's only going to count them once, which is what I want to do. Okay, and then the rest of the stuff we can leave alone. The data-driven attribution model is fine for this, and everything else we just leave alone. So it's sign up and then one count. That's the most important thing, is to only count one, and done. Okay, I'm going to add one more, and this is going to be my call conversion. So book appointment, same thing. I don't want to use a value for that. I only want to count one per person, and then the rest of these settings are good. Now, if we look in the settings here, this is where you can come in and edit this if you want to rename these or if you made a mistake or anything like that. Once we've added the conversions, now you might want to add different ones or more. Be making a sale directly on the web page and you want to add a conversion for that. Don't get too crazy with this. I would recommend just starting with 2 or 3 conversions that you want to track. And we're going to go ahead and save these. So the next thing we need to actually do is install this on the web page. So you see you can email these instructions to someone else if you're not really familiar how to do this, or you can set it up with Google Tag Manager. I'm not going to walk you through that. What you can also do is just copy and paste this code onto the thank you page for the action. Okay, that's how I install these is, for example, this snippet for the sign up. I'm going to paste this onto the thank you page for my opt-in. So someone opts in, the code is not on the first page, it's not on the landing page. They opt in, they land on the next page, and that is where this code is going to be. So it tracks everyone who hits that page. Same with the book appointment code. I'm going to put that code on the thank you page after someone books an appointment. Now, there is one other piece of code you need to put throughout your website, which I'll show you in a second. But each of these snippets just goes on one page so that it's counting that one conversion, and it goes on the thank you page for that conversion. Okay, so now those are created. So let me show you where to find the code that goes on your entire website. If you go into one of these conversions and then go to tag setup and install the tag yourself, you'll see that same snippet here again. And then you'll also see this Google tag. So this is the code you want to put on every page of your website. So this should just go on your website template, so that it's on your opt-in page, it's on all your thank you pages, it's everywhere on your website. If this doesn't make any sense to you, I would recommend sending this to someone who it would make sense to and having them help you install this code. So that's those are the conversion codes. So the next thing we want to do is set up a custom goal that includes those conversions. We need to drop it down there and add a custom goal. And then we will name this. I'll just name it based on the name of the funnel. And I will include both conversions in that goal. Okay, and that's what we need to do with the conversions. And we will assume that you've gone ahead and installed the conversion tracking code on your website and tested to make sure that it is firing. So let's go back now. Back to the overview, and now, yes, we can create a new campaign right here. And this campaign is going to be a lead generation campaign, so I'm going to click leads. If you have a campaign driving some type of sales, you can click sales instead, and it's going to give you all the same options you're about to see for leads. I do not recommend any of these other campaign types, not for what we're doing at least, which is trying to generate actions, trying to generate leads or sales from our website. So I'm going to click leads, and then these are the conversion goals that we just set up. So these goals, Google is going to try to deliver these goals with the automated features that it has. Right now, you only see the two goals here that I just added because that's all there are. If you have a Google Ad account that you've used before, you might see other goals here. In the future, if you're adding third-party tracking systems or doing other stuff, you may end up with other goals. So we want to make sure we're using the correct goals for the campaign. And I'm going to add a goal, and I'm going to add this custom goal that I just created. And you see it includes both those actions. And then I want to remove this goal and remove this goal. Now, if I didn't do that, what might happen is if we add more conversions to this account later, more conversion actions later, those would automatically get lumped in with the campaign. We might start double tracking things, and it just wouldn't be a good thing. So I want to always define my goal at the start of a campaign, make sure I'm counting the conversion actions I want to count, and I'm doing that with this custom goal. Now we can continue and select video campaign and continue again. So now we are into the campaign setting, and we need to give the campaign a name. And I'll just give it a simple name here. You might want to get more elaborate, but basically, let's change this. So basically, you want the campaign to identify what type of campaign it is. It's an opt-in campaign. What is it advertising? It's advertising my agency VSL. And then what's the targeting? So this will be audience 1. Once we actually name this audience, we might want to come update the campaign name so it's a little more descriptive. And then what's the ad? So we'll be using this ad, script 1, hook 1. Okay. You might also want to include the date that you launched the campaign and any other details in here that just help you know by looking at the name of the campaign, what are you advertising, who are you targeting, what are the ads that you are running. Location, I'm going to go ahead and enter just the main locations that I get clients from. So we'll do United States, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, and Dubai. Now, of course, there's other countries I get clients from. For starters, in a campaign, you really want to focus on the core of your targeting. Yes, I get clients from like Germany or South America or other places, but these places are less likely to bring me clients than the countries that I'm targeting right here. So that's why I want to focus on these. Once we get a campaign that's working and optimized, we can always come in here later and change these locations and add locations. But to start with, I recommend just focusing on some core locations, the locations where you are most likely to get new leads and sales from. And then I'm going to select English as the language here. Bid strategy, for right now, I'm going to leave this at maximize conversions. Now, ultimately, the bid strategy that we are going to want to use is target CPA. So let me briefly explain how these work. Okay, I'm going to be setting a $5 a day budget. So that means if I'm using maximize conversions, Google's algorithm, their goal now is to spend the $5 per day budget for this campaign. No matter what. It doesn't matter how much it's costing me for an impression, for a click, for a conversion. None of that matters to the algorithm if I'm using maximize conversions. If I were to use target CPA, and let's say I set a bid of $10, okay, and this is target cost per conversion, which means it's going to be looking at those two conversions, the actions that I set up for the opt-in and for the call. And the algorithm is going to try to deliver conversions to me for $10 or less. That sounds great, and that is great. The only issue sometimes is with a brand new campaign or a brand new offer or a brand new conversion action. It can take some time for this to start working. Sometimes it doesn't work right away. Sometimes you need to increase the bid up to $15, $20, $25. Okay, this is all a little more advanced work because once you get the bid up to $25 and you start spending, then you want to start decreasing the bid again back to a more reasonable level. Okay, this video, I'm not going to be able to get into all that advanced optimization stuff. So what I want to do here is actually just start with maximize conversions. So the problem, the biggest problem with maximize conversions is if this is working, if I'm getting leads, people are booking calls, and then I start to increase this daily budget. Remember, Google's goal with this is to spend the whole budget. If I start to increase this, Google's still going to be trying to spend the whole budget, no regard for what it's actually costing to bring a conversion. It might be the case that at $5 per day, I'm kind of reaching all the available traffic in this campaign. And therefore, if I were to increase the budget to $50 a day, I'm already reaching all the available traffic, but now Google's trying to spend $50 a day instead of $5. What's going to happen? I'm going to start paying way more for impressions and clicks, and it's going to completely throw off my results. A word of caution on both sides. If you're starting with target CPA, it's going to be slow. You might have to increase the bid. You're going to have to watch it and start to optimize your bid once your campaigns start spending. If you're using maximize conversions, you really need to keep an eye on your budgets and make sure you're not overspending. Even at $5 a day, I may end up with a really targeted audience that Google just has a hard time spending on. Even at $5 a day, I might be overbidding with maximized conversions. But this is where I'm going to start. In future videos, by the way, I'm going to be showing you how to really build this campaign out. I'm building one campaign right now. That is not how I run YouTube ads. I do not run YouTube ads with one campaign. I run YouTube ads with multiple campaigns. Now, you can get things kind of started and get them going with one campaign, but ultimately to scale, you need multiple campaigns. So if you want to get the full strategy and see how we're building out multiple campaigns and optimizing campaigns, then make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can see all of those other videos also. Okay, back to business. We are going to start with maximize conversions, $5 per day budget. Okay, none of this stuff matters. Don't change the start or end date. You can't change the networks. This section I'll show you later. There's a different section to exclude certain types of content, so stay tuned. I am going to just gloss over. I'm not going to create site links because they aren't really that important. But I'll tell you what they are. You might want to spend a couple minutes on them. Basically, a site link is going to be an extra link that appears underneath your ad with some text and with a link to your website. Now, there's already a big giant button underneath of your ad that brings people to your website. That's why I say site links really aren't that important. It's more of a vanity thing. We've tested this. Okay, we do not get 24% more conversions by adding site links. I am not going to add site links to this campaign, but you sure can. It's not going to hurt anything. You surely can. Additional settings. Okay, this is a lead generation campaign where we want people to click and go to our website. People cannot do that on TV screens, not very easily. So we're going to turn off TV screens. Computers, mobile, and tablet are all fine, and we're going to leave all those together in this campaign. A frequency capping will limit the number of times a user will see the same ad in the same campaign, and we can go ahead and cap that at 5 impressions per day, just so that the system doesn't get out of hand and show our ad to the same person who knows how many times. Ad schedule, keep this at all day, and we don't need to worry about third-party measurement. Next, I'm going to set up an ad group. So the structure I'm going to be using is a campaign is going to have one ad group. That ad group is going to have one ad. You can technically add multiple ad groups inside of a campaign. You can add multiple ads inside of a campaign. That's kind of the point of ad groups and ads, is that you can have a campaign with multiple ad groups. But the way that we are going to end up building this out with multiple campaigns, multiple ads, the best way to do this for scaling and optimization is to set up one campaign with one ad group, and that ad group just has one ad. So that's what I'm going to be showing you right now. Okay, the name of the ad group really doesn't matter at all, so I'm not going to change it, but I need to set up an audience. This is how people are going to be targeted with YouTube ads. So the way you're going to set up audiences is by building custom segments. Now there are other ways to, there are other things you can do. Okay, you can add interest targeting. It's likely you won't really find any targeting here that works. Like for example, if I wanted to find some type of targeting around marketing, okay, you can see there's various audiences here that I could select. These are pre-built audiences. Go ahead, see if there's an audience that just really makes sense for your business. That would just be the perfect audience for you to target. Make sure it is at least an in-market audience. Okay, that means it's people who are in the market for this thing, people who are in the market for marketing strategies. They're actively researching that stuff. Absolutely do not select any affinity audiences. Okay, affinity, these are no good. If affinity audiences are no good, I'll leave it at that. Do not select those unless you want to set some money on fire. Go ahead, research some audiences here. Select one if it's an absolute perfect fit. But I want to show you how to actually create your own audiences. This is mostly what you're going to be doing, is creating your own audiences, which is absolutely fantastic. And you're going to come up here to custom segments and add a new segment. And then we are going to make sure this option is selected, people who searched for any of these terms on Google. And then I'm going to enter some search terms. So we'll do YouTube ad agency, and I'll press enter. Now notice YouTube ad agency didn't come up in this little predictive bubble, but I was still able to add it. That is perfectly fine, okay? You can add words here that don't show up. Now look what happened here. I added this one search term, YouTube ad agency, and now Google's giving me an estimate of how many weekly impressions I would get if I created an audience just with this one term, 100 million to 500 million weekly impressions. This is actually a pretty good number. Okay, it's not too small, It's not too big. Google doesn't tell us how many people are actually going to be in this audience, but you can kind of gauge that based on the weekly impression. Let's say I add another keyword like YouTube ads services. Now see what happened there. The weekly impressions jumped way up, 1 billion to 5 billion weekly impressions, which obviously is ridiculously high based on the world population, right? And especially based on the population of the countries that I'm targeting. This tells me this is a very, very large audience. This audience could possibly work for me as I'm scaling out an account. To start with, an audience this big probably isn't my best bet, okay? But that doesn't mean I just want to delete YouTube ads services. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't, as I add keywords, these audiences aren't building on top of one another. What Google actually does is it takes a look at all the attributes of people who are searching for these things. It says, okay, these people have these 1,000 things in common. Google then says, who else has all of these 1,000 things in common? Let's put them into this person's custom audience. And that's how these custom audiences come to be. So if I want to add some other things like how to advertise on YouTube ads, okay, you can see the weekly impressions there are still saying the same size. Let's say we do YouTube ads. We'll do YouTube ads agency, just a slight variation. Okay, everything I've added so far is actually a different audience. It's a completely different audience. Because again, we're not just building on top of each other. Google's looking at the commonalities of people who search for these words. They're adding people in. They're saying, okay, all these other people have these same commonalities, and they're making an audience out of that. So let me actually go back, okay? Ultimately, we might want to create custom audiences for each of these combinations. But let me actually just go back to YouTube ad agency, and I'm just going to define my audience based on this one word and save. Now again, I am going to be setting up campaigns, one campaign, one ad group, one ad. Each ad group is going to have one type of targeting. Okay, the reason for this is that's the only way to actually force Google to spend money on each audience, to spend money on each ad. I could go ahead, and you could do this too. If you want to take the shortcut approach or the lazy approach to this, you can absolutely do this. I'm not going to hold it against you. You can go into a new segment again, and we'll go ahead and say, we'll say how to set up YouTube ads, how to advertise on YouTube ads. Sure, we'll go ahead. Let's say we want to set up a new audience, and these are going to be the words we use for that audience. And we can save that audience. So now this ad group is going to be targeting both of these audiences. Okay, the problem with that is it's very likely, especially if you're adding more and more audiences to the same ad group, Google is going to latch on to one of these, and it's going to start sending most of the traffic through that one audience. It does the same thing if you add multiple ads to a campaign. Google very early starts to favor a particular ad, and it'll send most of your traffic to that one ad, and it won't even bother testing the rest of the ads. So yes, you could do that. If you want to shortcut this, you can add a bunch of audiences here. You can add a bunch of ads. I'll show you in a minute how we're going to add our ads. So I wanted to show you the shortcut way. I'm not actually going to be doing this the shortcut way. I'm going to be doing this the right way, which is to just use one audience at a time. We'll name the audience here. One more thing, though, that you need to define as you're creating the audience are demographics. Okay? So gender, age, parental status, and household income. Okay, for this particular offer, gender doesn't matter, male, female, all good to me. If you have an offer for one or the other, what you would do is obviously uncheck male, but then you'd also want to uncheck unknown. Okay, you'd only want to be targeting the specific gender that your offer is for. For age, the age range for my particular offer, we're going to stick with 35 to 54. And then I'm actually going to uncheck unknown. Okay, this is a narrow enough age group that I want to just stay specific on this right now. And I don't want to allow people from outside age groups to see the ad. There's enough traffic that'll be available for this age group. I mentioned earlier, you want your targeting to be focused on people with the best chance of becoming your customer. So that's why I'm going to leave unknown checked when it comes to age, because people outside of these age groups have a much lower likelihood of becoming a customer of mine. Parental status never really matters. For household income, I'm going to select top 10% to 50%. So we're basically excluding the bottom 50% income here. Unknown, I am going to leave in. Okay, people that Google believes to be in the bottom 50%. Google's not always right about that. They're pretty accurate, but not always right. And actually, people who Google believes to be in the bottom 50% have a reasonably good chance of becoming my client compared to people who are in the top 50%. When these campaigns really start cooking along, I can go in and add the bottom 50% income later when I'm looking to scale. But for right now, I'm going to keep it specific on 35 to 54-year-olds and top 50% income. Next thing, very, very important. One of the most important things you're going to hear in this video. So pay attention right now, pay attention. Down here, optimized targeting. Turn this off. Okay, we just went through all of this effort to set up targeting for this campaign. If we leave this box checked, Google is going to go ahead and target anyone else that it really wants to. This is not what we want. Okay, the targeting is already broad. It's already too broad. We don't want to make it even worse by allowing Google to optimize our targeting. So turn this box off. Very, very important. Okay, under here, advanced settings, this is going away. You probably won't see this if you're watching this video in the future, but just wanted to show you there is nothing there. So the next thing to do is to actually create the video ad. I am going to go ahead and use this video. Okay, this is the video that I'm using for this ad. And let me just show you. I've added this video to a YouTube channel that I'm only using for ads. This is not my YouTube channel. Okay, this is a YouTube channel that doesn't have any public content. It's only being used for ads. The reason for this is to not muddy up the stats on my actual YouTube channel. So if you have a YouTube channel, I would recommend doing this, keeping your ads on a separate channel. There's not really benefit to running ads through your main channel. It's just really going to throw off your stats. It may also get you some subscribers who you don't really want, like low quality subscribers that aren't really subscribing to you for a good reason. So I'd recommend keeping your ads separate from your main channel. So this is the ad that I'm going to use. This is the landing page that I'm going to use. So I'm going to enter that right here. Okay, and you can see this ad is starting to come together. You can see it over here. Let me show you what the landing page actually looks like. And this is a page that allows me to split test, which is perfectly fine in Google Ads. You notice this is the URL I entered, but it took me to a variation of that right here. So I wanted to pull this up because this is basically where you're going to pull in text for your ad. Call to action, you just need to kind of select, since I'm bringing people to a video, I'm going to use watch now as the call to action. You could use learn more, sign up. This does not really matter that much. Headline, I'll go ahead and see if this headline fits. We'll start with it in the long headline, and then you can start to see how that appears in the previews over here. For the regular headline, though, we'll just go ahead with free training. Notice we only get 15 characters, so there's not much you can say in the regular headline. Okay, so we have our long headline here. Description, I'll go ahead and use this. Okay, so notice I'm just taking stuff from the landing page. Not only is that nice and easy, but it also adds congruency to your ad. So the thing you're saying in your ad, the thing people are reading, then leads into what they're actually going and landing on. So you're giving them exactly what they thought they were going to get, and they have a better chance of actually opting in or doing what you want them to do. On desktop, there will be a banner that appears next to your ad, okay, up here. And you can certainly add a banner, or you can have YouTube auto-generate a banner. If you're using a channel like this, that's just for ads, and you haven't added a banner, that's what will show. Okay, that's what will show up here is basically just nothing. There won't be a banner up there. So it is good to have a banner. I'm gonna go ahead and upload one that I've created for this ad. So there's my banner. For the name of the ad, you are going to want to just name the ad the same name as the name of the video. This will help you keep track of your ads. If you're running the same video in multiple campaigns, it'll help you consolidate the data that you're looking at to determine which ads are working and which ones aren't. So the name of the ad is exactly the same as the name of the video. And again, you could go ahead and create multiple ads here, but also again, I am not going to do that because to create multiple ads, I'm actually going to go ahead and create multiple campaigns. So we'll go ahead and create this campaign. Exciting, success. Okay, this campaign is actually built right now. And yes, that is exciting, but we want to first, before we get too excited, go into the campaign and we want to pause it. We do not want it to start running yet. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to pause this campaign. Okay, so a couple things to do now before this campaign actually goes live. I mentioned earlier excluding some content. So we can go in here to content suitability, and you're only going to need to do this once. You won't need to do this every single time you create a campaign, but you're going to go into content suitability. You can select inventory type, kind of personal preference. If you don't really care if your ads are showing on like profane videos, go ahead and click expanded inventory. If you care about that kind of thing, standard or limited inventory. Standard won't limit your reach much at all compared to expanded. Limited will limit the reach a bit more. I'm just going to use expanded. And then here, you could exclude other sensitive content if you want. Okay, you could exclude types of content here. What I do exclude for video campaigns are live streaming videos. It's because people watching a live video usually aren't in the right frame of mind for like clicking and taking action on something. They're more engrossed in the fact they're watching something live. And then I also exclude embedded YouTube videos, which would be a video on somebody else's website. Again, people usually aren't really engaged in watching videos if they're on a different website. They're much more engaged in whatever website they're on. So I just exclude YouTube ads on here. Or I exclude, embedded YouTube videos for my YouTube ads. Key content keywords, you don't want to exclude. Placements though, we do want to exclude some placements. So in particular, there is a website placement that we want to exclude, and it is right here. Google AdSense without YouTube.com. So go over here and add that placement. Okay. You see this is added here, and then you'd want to click save to make sure that it saves. So the reason we add this placement exclusion, just a weird oddball thing, is that YouTube ads are going to run on the display network. They're going to run on different websites. You may have been to a website where you see a video ad playing down in the corner. Of course, the first thing you do when you see an ad like that is try to figure out how to close it out, right? You and everybody else. Those ads running on websites outside of YouTube produce some of the worst quality traffic around. We do not want to pay for any impressions on those sites. It used to be we could come in here and check a box and turn off those sites. That's not the case anymore. Now we have to do this. We have to use this hack, okay, this little trick of the trade, if you will, to exclude our YouTube ads from showing on the display network. What you do is enter this URL exactly like this to then exclude it from the display network. This works right now. I can't say that this will work forever. There have certainly been things like this that have stopped working over time, but as of now, it works to actually exclude this website and it'll prevent your ads from showing on the display network. One other thing we want to prevent our ads from showing on are mobile apps. And you can do that by coming in here. Now, there is another URL like this that we could use to exclude mobile apps. I'm not even going to tell you about it because, like I said, this could change at any moment. What I'm going to show you here to exclude apps is much more foolproof. Okay, so you come in here to app categories, and then you go through these app categories, select all of them. There are going to be 140 of them. It'll take a couple minutes, I know, but you want to select all 140 of these apps to actually exclude your ad from running on mobile apps. Again, if your ads are running on mobile apps, nobody is watching them. Nobody is taking action on them. These are just showing up on apps. People are trying to get rid of them. Okay, this is not just theory. We've seen ads running on mobile apps. We've seen ads running on the display network. They simply do not work. We've tried to get them to work. We've tried different things. We've tried many different ways of getting ads to actually perform using that inventory because the inventory is there. It would be nice to be able to actually use that inventory effectively because it's there. It'd be nice to have the option to get that traffic, but we've tried. We just can't get things to work using mobile app traffic or display network traffic. Now, this is not the YouTube mobile app. Okay, that's not what we're excluding here. We're just excluding all these other apps from the App Store and from the Google Play Store. So as you can see, this takes a couple minutes, but it's really not so bad. It's actually so simple that I've been doing it for the last minute and you haven't even noticed because I'm still talking. So let me just finish this up real quick and then we'll move on with our day. Okay, so now we have all of the mobile apps selected. See, there's 140 apps. We have 141 exclusions right now, which is what we want because we still have the Google AdSense without YouTube exclusion. And we are going to save this. So now our ads will not run on those placements. Okay, so now we can come back out of this, back to the campaign, and this is actually ready now. It's ready to go ahead and turn this campaign on. So we'll go to campaigns. We're gonna have to change campaign status to all so that it shows the paused campaign also. And then we can go ahead and enable this. So next steps, you should have more ads. You should have more than one ad. You're going to want to set up a new campaign for every ad that you have. Okay, you could, let's say you have 5 ads. You're going to set up 4 more campaigns. Those can all be targeting this same audience, but they would each have a different ad. The next thing you're going to want to do is target some different audiences. So let's say we want to target 5 audiences. Well, now we're going to want to set up more campaigns with every ad and audience combination we have. So if we have 5 ads and 5 audiences, that gives us 25 combinations. We'd actually have 25 different campaigns. So now you can see real quickly, this budget is growing from $5 a day to a lot more than that. That's why we're just starting with $5 a day because it's actually per campaign, $5 per day per campaign. We're going to start with maximize conversion bidding. We're going to see which of these campaigns are getting traffic. We're going to see which of them are getting the best quality traffic at the lowest cost, giving us the best cost per conversion. We're going to increase the budget on those campaigns that are giving us the best cost per conversion. We're going to turn off the campaigns that are not bringing conversions or that are bringing conversions at a cost that is too high. Now, that was a very oversimplified explanation of how to actually build this out and optimize all of this. So, a couple options. Go ahead, follow me, subscribe to this channel, watch more of my videos, and I will explain how to build all this out, how to optimize all of this. So follow along for that, or take the real shortcut and reach out to me and my company for help actually doing this. Okay, we can do this for you if you have an offer that looks like it would be a good fit for YouTube. And if we don't think your offer is a good fit for YouTube, we're going to tell you, and then you won't waste a bunch of time trying to run ads to it yourself. So if you want my team's help, go ahead, reach out to us, click the link in the description of this video, and there'll be a questionnaire you can fill out to put you in touch with us. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, my name is Kyle Sullerud, and I'll see you in the next video.